obviously the Tampa Bay Rays, they had their playoff games last week. They got demolished by the Rangers in both of them. We've talked about that already. You know, I wasn't sure if it was an August game or it was a playoff game. It was kind of hard to tell based on looking at the stands. And it turns out the numbers proved us right. In the second game, facing elimination of the wild card round in October, the Rays had a grand total of 19,000 fans there. And you could see for sure the empty seats. That might just be tickets sold. That might not even be butts and seats. But anyways, it was pretty embarrassing. It's got to be embarrassing for the players. But, you know, it's very interesting. The Rays just invested in staying in, not exactly in Tampa and St. Petersburg, but in that area for the long haul. Jake, what's your thoughts on this? How should this be a warning sign?
Oh yeah, definitely. Baseball does not work in St. Petersburg. The Rays have had terrible crowds for years now. 19,000 for a game two elimination game is unexcusable. St. Petersburg and the Rays should have more respect than that for people to show up to the game in a game two elimination. Um, I think the Rays have to I don't know what they did this season. I don't know if they invested long term to stay in St. Petersburg. I don't know if they're still I don't remember if they're still, you know, contemplating about moving to Montreal. I don't know what
The
they're
stadium, they just approved the new stadium a few weeks ago, the new indoor stadium that will be ready in 2028, I believe. So that answers your question for that.
okay. I think that, obviously Tropicana Field holds a lot more than 19,000, so 19,000 is a SAG for the game two game. Um yeah, and that's basically all I got on that. So Jordan, I'll go to you, man. What you got?
All right. As a Braves fan, I feel like I'm qualified to talk about attendance for a postseason game. Um, Other than that, just 19,000. I mean, come on. 19,000 for a playoff game, an elimination game too, where players obviously, need the support of the fans, right? Uh, Obviously, we know the elimination game is you lose, you go home. 19,000, like I said, is just a complete embarrassment, not just for the Rays, St. Petersburg, but I think for Major League Baseball as well. And what's frightening for the Rays is Evan mentioned the new stadium that I'm pretty sure holds more than the top, if I had to guess. But it makes me wonder how many people are going to show up to that stadium as well. Is it going to be the same attendance as the Trop, or is it going to be better? Um, and I think that maybe the city of St. Petersburg and the Rays wasted that money to build that new stadium, but 19,000. I mean, come on, St. Petersburg.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out if I was like, when we proposed this topic, I was trying, all right, are we overreacting? Is this just a number? Is this just a random number? But like Jake said, they've been doing it for years. And I mean, don't let your eyes deceive you. You see what's going on. You know, the Braves, like Jordan said, pack their stadium all the time. A lot of other teams do. And the Rays, they just don't care enough. So I think MLB, I don't think it's a mistake. I wouldn't call it a mistake, but I think MLB, it depends if they expand eventually or not to 32 or whatever. They might be missing an opportunity here, especially if they don't expand, especially if they stay at 30. So you got the A's moving to Vegas. Okay, that's cool. That's a pretty good move, right? But not official yet, by the way, but it's about to be in like a month. The owners are going to meet. And then you have the Rays staying in St. Petersburg, the Tampa area. But Jake said something like that area is not working. Florida sports struggles, and I think the only team that does really good is the Dolphins, surprisingly, in terms of fan support. They got very good fan support, but the other sports teams, unless they're doing good, they kind of struggle, and it makes sense. It's a transplant area. Everyone's coming down. They lived in New York. They lived in Boston all their life. They're going to continue rooting for those teams, even though they don't want to pay New York taxes anymore. That's still what will be what they do. But with stupid fly with the Rays, I think it's not a mistake. The Rays are a very good team. They've shown they're willing to compete in baseball, which is the most important thing. But in terms of the stadium, it looks like a nice stadium design. We'll see if it lives up to it. But you got to get fans to come to the game. And the last thing, the thing I always say is, if you're not a baseball diehard, where are you going to be in Florida? Are you going to be on the beach, or are you going to be at Tropicana Field? I think we know what the answer would be for most people.